In a recent episode of BBC's Antiques Roadshow, host Fiona Bruce and her team of experts were in Wells in Somerset. During the visit, many guests were eager to show their belongings and get the keen eye of the experts to assess their items' value. Elaine Binning heard the story of a gymnast who competed in the 1928 Olympics, while Rupert Moss examined a piece of street art on a metal panel by the artist Bambi. Meanwhile, Eric Knowles was left stunned at the passion one guest had for Victorian designer Augustus Pugin, but was left feeling skeptical when it came to observing the plate. When taking his first look at the stunning patterned plate, Eric exclaimed, "Well, I think it only right that you introduce your own plate, so who is responsible as the designer of this interesting item?" The guest began, "Okay, let me see if I can get the name right, it is quite a mouthful, Augustus Welby Northmore Pugin." Impressed, Eric continued, "Bang on. Well, I can tell you're an enthusiast for Pugin because it is all there on your t-shirt. And not only that, I'm spying a little bit of Pugin detail on your body art. A man who is synonymous with that Gothic revival, you know, and a very important part of the art history of the Victorian period. One of the great benefits of the 1851 exhibition was something called the Medieval Court, and that was designed by Pugin, and what we're looking at is a Gothic revival, insofar as the technique that's been used here is an encaustic technique. It works on the premise that they would be molded with depressions and then you would press the colored glaze and fill them with enamel. But in this case, they possibly even used very fine liquid slips, in 1848, when this plate was made, which is Minton." Wanting to know for certain, the guest asked, "Do you think it is Minton's? Because I couldn't see any maker's marks on the back, I think." Confident in his knowledge, Eric insisted, "Trust me, it is Minton. It's shouting at me, it's Minton. I can see that it's been through the wars." The guest explained, "Yeah, I like Pugin stuff, I bought it a couple of years ago and I bought it and the only way I could afford it was because it was already broken." Wanting to know more, Eric asked, "Okay, so have you thought about having it restored?" Passionate about the designer and how much he loved the plate, the guest admitted, "I love it as it is, but is it because I'm never going to get rid of it? It's not a sell, it's a keeper, so." Interrupting him, Eric said, "Well, I can see Teresa Bond there, I have got a lot of ceramics which are broken, or to use a technical term, knackered. But because they've got a crack on them or a little bit missing, does it bother me? No, I am not buying them as a portfolio, I am buying them because they give me pleasure." Wanting to see what the plate would look like if it hadn't been broken, Eric held the missing piece up against the plate and said, "Just to remind us of how much does need to be restored. Because there are some very clever restorers out there, and for them, it is just another day at the office. That decision will always be yours." "I'm just intrigued to know what you paid for it." "50 quid, the guest replied bluntly. Eric added, "I mean, if it wasn't broken, an auction estimate, maybe £600 to £800. I still reckon somebody would be very happy to pay at least £300 for it in this condition. Granted, they are going to spend at least a couple of hundred to have it properly restored." The guest was impressed with the large sum he would get considering the little amount he paid for it. "I am surprised because I figured the breakage would render it worthless, monetary value. So I was really quite surprised actually." Antiques Roadshow is available to watch on BBC iPlayer.